9 o'clock, Monday, April 28th. Please join me for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. Morning. Call the meeting to order, looking for approval of the agenda.
So moved if there's no changes.
I'll second.
So motion and second, all in favor, signify by
Aye.
saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Approval of minutes from Monday, April 21st.
I'll abstain.
I thought they read well. I'll make a motion.
I'll second.
Motion and second, all in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? One abstain. New business, 9 o'clock, public hearing, zoning reclassification. And this is for the roughly 20 parcels that were previously in the Glidden and Carroll 2-mile area. Courtney, did you receive any public comments?
Just the one we received from Sarah.
And that's what I received one personally from Leon Mormont.
You want me to read that? Was that or-
You can, sure, absolutely.
So, comment was, I'd like to see all property in the 2-mile areas go to ag instead of any other zone, and then have property owners that just have areas rezoned.
Basically the same phone call I got too. Did you get one, Gene?
No.
Anybody else?
No.
I forgot to, I'm sorry, at 9 o'clock to open the public hearing. So any comments from those in attendance? If not, it is 9:01. We can close the public hearing. Item number 2, consider for approval the zoning reclassifications. And basically what the reclassifications are, they're pretty much identical to what they were during the, or when the county had an agreement with the city of Glidden and the city of Carroll. I've got a list of them here. Like I said, there's roughly 20 of them. But unless somebody wants me to read the owners of them and the parcel numbers, I'd rather not go through it. So I'm looking for a motion to approve the zoning board's recommendation.
I'll make a motion to approve the zoning board's recommendation for the new zoning reclassifications. I'll second it.
We have a motion and a second. Any more discussion? All in favor? Say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Item 3, secondary road. Zach, I understand you have 2 drains.
I do.
And you've got a B and a C below that.
Few things today. So the first drain I got is the drain 60 Sheridan section 36. It was just a repair of a short section of a 24-inch line just west of Sycamore there. This work has been done. Did not take a whole lot to fix this one. I can do them both unless you have issues with that. The second one is drain 38. Also Sheridan Township section 26. This is a 15-inch line. Again, a short section that collapsed. Just repaired that section and wasn't a major endeavor with that either. Any questions on either one of those?
I have none.
Were these very shallow?
I know the second one wasn't. It was at least 3 foot of cover, maybe a little bit more.
So it's not cutting, it wasn't.
I don't think that was the case,
Okay.
no. And I can't answer that for sure on the first one, Gene. I don't think that was the problem.
So do we have a motion to approve the 2 drains?
So
Zach
moved.
described?
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor? Opposed? Motion carries. B, review and approve Iowa DOT 5-year program and budget.
All right, so where I'd like to start on this is going through the program. I attached the documents that I actually submit to the DOT, but I also handed out a larger sheet that shows the program. That's what I'd like to go off of, just because it's a little bit easier. And there's a map that goes along with that as far as the where they're at and what year they're in. So I'll spend a little bit more time on the next year, fiscal year 26, and I'll go a little faster through the ones in the upcoming years, but if you have questions, by all means, stop me as I'm going and fire away.
You can see why you traded newspaper today.
No,
Go ahead.
So, and again, these are fiscal year 26 beginning here, so these are projects that we will be looking to do next construction season, and none of these would fall into this construction season. So the first one is LO3 Willenberg Township line. This project's been on the list for quite some time. I think we're finally gonna get to it. To replacing a box culvert with a box culvert, more than likely. Still gotta work through the design on that, but that's what we're looking to do. That'd be spending roughly 260,000 of local dollars to do that project. Second one, Nice 2122 reinforced concrete box. This, I believe, is an old wooden repogel that we're replacing with a concrete box. So $125,000 of local dollars for that one. You can see these on the map. If you want me to go to locations, stop me, let me know, but the next two projects kind of go together. It's N14 diamond grinding and M68 diamond grinding. So this is contingent on us getting the patching done that we need to on N14. We have a little over 2 miles to do this summer with our own crews. If we can get that done, this would be something we're looking at doing next construction season. We'd let over the winter time. And we would diamond grind the N14 section from Highway 30 down to Halber. And then also the 1 mile of M68, the south mile of concrete as well. 700,000 and 125,000 respectively.
That way you can keep
for
your
that.
teeth in, Mike, when
I
you
I
drive
was just,
that.
I was just gonna say N14, the dentists are gonna be out of business here soon. If you fix that.
Hopefully, I think it will do
I think
wonders. So
N68's worse.
it's pretty bad too. They're both not good. So
So, and that's local money also.
those are local money as
So
well.
there's 1.210 1,210,000
Correct.
of local money.
local.
All local. Part of that is we're spending, it's a lot of FM this year. There's a chunk of FM this year and some federal aid this year and some of the projects that we're doing. So trying to make it all flow basically. So. That's it for fiscal year 26, fiscal year 27. We got N33 rehab. So this is the short stretch through Dedham. This has been pushed back a little bit because of the water main project that they're doing. So this is contingent upon whenever that gets done.
They're
We're gonna-
finally
we're gonna-
digging
we're gonna-
up streets
I
down
see
there
that.
right
Yeah.
now.
So we're-
Finally.
We're gonna try to fit that in, preferably when we do some other asphalt, it would be the ideal thing. That's what we're kind of hoping.
So
And
this encompasses from the west side of Dedham all the way into,
no, this would be from the north side, from the
oh, it's just
bridge
the north and south.
down to the curve. That part's really pretty torn up.
But the bridge down past the cemetery.
Not that far.
So it
From-
goes-
from the bridge to the curve. From the curve past the cemetery down to 141 is newer.
Okay,
That is not in as bad a shape.
right, okay.
We can reevaluate at that
Oh,
time to see.
so
but-
basically from the park to the bridge.
Right.
Correct. That part's
From Kit's Locker
really
going
bad.
down to the bridge, yeah.
Well, it wouldn't be up, even up.
Wouldn't
Kip.
even be two Kits Locker. It'd be north of that.
It'd be by the, right,
The stop sign
northeast,
there.
northeast of the park.
Gotcha.
Where the
Yep,
stop
yep,
signs at.
yep.
Correct. Also, other asphalt in fiscal year 27, this is M68. This would be from Arcadia, from the north edge of Arcadia up to the Sac County line. That would be using 2.5 million of farm market and 1.5 million of our STBG federal funds on that job, so. The Dedham section would be a local project. The other asphalt project would be just on the east side of Arcadia, going out past the ballpark to the T intersection and back to Highway 30. That section's getting pretty bad as well. Looking at $800,000 of local dollars for that. Again, these are estimates. We'll see what construction prices do as we get further out, but that's where we're sitting with those. And then
All three of them need it bad.
they do. They're definitely.
I just hope they hold up.
I hope they do as well. One other project in fiscal year 27, L7, is a short bridge, looking to replace as well in fiscal year 27. That'd be $300,000 of local dollars. Again, I know we've had this conversation before, but we try to do the bridges with our federal aid dollars if possible, but a lot of them don't qualify because of traffic count. So that's usually the reason why they get bumped to be a local paid job instead of a federal aid job.
You're gonna replace this bridge or?
It'll
with
be,
the
that'll
culvert
be a replacement.
For 300,000, that's great.
This is right around the corner from the one that, what's called, build with used material, right?
I think so. And that's where we'll see what style we use and build. That number could fluctuate based on that, but it's a short bridge.
Okay,
I don't think we can put a box culvert in though. It's a little bit too big.
I'm just curious, that sounds awful cheap for a bridge, but
Fiscal year 28, 4 more projects there. First one, O2. This would be a bridge that's northwest of Dedham, a larger bridge, using federal funds for that. Looking at this point, roughly 1.3 million to replace that bridge. The deck on that one's really deteriorating. And it's narrow as well. Bony truss.
That's got a truss bridge, right? That's in there now.
Yep.
Can you get away without having to save that one or not?
With what?
With the pony truss, we have.
I
to-
think so. I think so. It's not nothing special about it. I don't think. but-
This is not a pony truss. This is a higher truss.
Oh, I thought you said pony truss.
Well, it's a truss bridge. I'll leave it at that. A21 Goetzer, this is another short bridge that we would replace with a reinforced concrete box culvert. We've done, it's a 2-mile stretch. Like the one was replaced with a bridge before my time, and we replaced another one with a box culvert here a few years ago. So another one that's posted and deteriorating. The pile are deteriorating on that one.
So that would be a box, you say?
That'd be a box culvert. 300,000 of local funds for that one. And the next 2 projects, we need to coordinate with Greene County, so that it could bounce around in what year we do these, but the Greene County line, north and south of Highway 30, 2 separate projects. They're both deteriorating. We did some maintenance on the south section here a couple years ago that I think helped buy us some time, but it's definitely rough and the asphalt's drying out. So, so this is the dollars that I have in here, the 1.65 million for the south section, excuse me, and the 650,000 for the north section is half of the project. The other half would be what Greene County would be responsible for. So.
How many years ago was that south half redone? I know it was before your time. It don't seem like it's been that long.
I think it's been over 20 years. I'll double check, Gene. It's been there for quite a while.
It don't seem like it. I feel like it's been 10.
Cause I mean, we totally crushed that up and relayed it. Yeah. Time goes by when you have fun.
Blame it on the ethanol plant.
Well, it just seems like it's not been that long.
I'll double check.
Yeah, let me know.
Fiscal year 29, now we're getting out where these are more of a, I guess at this point, a lot of things move around in these later years, as you probably already know. I-8 is another bridge, a little kind of a mid-sized bridge that we would be able to use federal dollars for. Forecasting about 500,000 for that bridge. And that'd be replacing a bridge with a bridge. Drain 12 outlet on the northern part of the county. That's another one that's been on the list for a while. It ties in with a drain and it's a structure. Estimating $250,000 for that.
So is that a bridge then, or?
It's a bridge, and whether we put back a bridge or a box along with this, there'd have to be some work done as it relates to the tile.
My
as well.
question is that could some of this be able to be paid for by the drain?
I don't think very much of it. I need to double check into that further, but I think it's just the outlet piece itself where
Okay.
the water dumps.
So the structure's all tied together then? is what
I
you're
think
saying?
it's together, yes, but it's underneath the road is where the road right away section is where it's all tied together at, so. And then in 2030, 2 more projects, one, J9 bridge that's been on the list for a number of years as well. Right, Gene?
About 24, 25 years.
Yep, another expensive bridge. Probably the biggest one thing about this, and that price is probably gonna have to go up from what it is there, but it'd have to be realigned as well, because there's a very tight corner. On that road,
Where's that at?
east of Willie.
It's,
Just drive straight east to Willie and goes over.
Oh,
and
gotcha.
sharp
Yep,
curve.
yeah, curves around, yep, by the, I know what you're talking about. We kind of went by there, that,
Mhm.
yep. I know what you're
It-
talking about.
It's really, the bridge hasn't gotten worse. I mean, it's structurally, it's doing what it needs to do. It is posted, but it's the tight hairpin corner is probably the biggest issue with that.
Mhm. I know,
That-
right.
was
that
there a lot,
area.
don't you haul a lot of gravel out through that, over that bridge?
We don't
You don't, you go the other
No.
way?
usually go that way.
Okay.
And then the last project on the list for 2030, N20 HMA resurfacing, again,
That's Ivy Avenue.
correct. This would be from Maple River going north to the Breed Blacktop, so.
Favoritism.
That's cheap. Wait that long?
Yeah, let's move that up.
It's,
Hey, is-
that one's not in
Just
great
like throw
shape.
that in there.
Who lives on that road anyway? Is that some pulling some strings there? What's going on?
I don't know. It's like that
If we
year
had a
got out
10-year
and-
forecast, would it be in 10th year?
Maybe,
Ivy?
I
maybe,
see 230th is getting paved.
yeah.
Weird.
So again, those things can change, especially the outer years, but that's another road that is definitely in need of some attention. There are some other short sections of road as well that we're gonna need to address, probably within this 5 years, but I don't know where they really fit in. And hopefully we can do it with some local dollars with either maintenance or a let project as we're doing other asphalt. So we'll see kind of how it all fits in and how prices come in at what we're able to add to or not add to based on construction cost.
Is there any thoughts about that bridge? Mile of north, just goes over top the railroad tracks there by the co-op there, right east of the co-op,
Which co-op?
Dedham.
Dedham Co-op, excuse me.
So that bridge is the railroad's bridge,
Oh,
and I'm actively trying to work out a plan to get that replaced, but there's a lot of moving parts there,
Okay.
With right of way and everything else. So it's been another bridge that's been on in
You're
the
still
works,
trying to do
trying
it
to,
at grade level?
that would be the best case scenario if we can, but
That's what Dave.
That would we need to acquire some land.
we would, and.
But not a lot. Then we have to.
But then there would only be one field entrance.
So
Yeah.
there's lots of moving parts
Yeah.
to it.
But
But
the railroad did replace one east of Templeton like 4 years ago.
they redid one.
Yes.
Right? They put some new stringers in and redecked it, and it was a wooden bridge,
Yep.
so. They have been
Can do it,
can't do
but
it.
they have been
You-
working
you
on
put-
stuff down there. This one's just
I'm sorry, west of Templeton.
pretty expensive bridge, another one that's,
I'm just curious. I know. I've
Let's
driven
put
over
it this
a few
way, some people have put tires in it so they can fill the holes. Yeah. That is a fact, Jack.
any questions on the projects that I went over?
Oh, gee. Nope, looks good.
Well, and as you say, this is
It's
a plan, but it's not always,
It's
subject to change.
definitely, it's a working
Based
document,
on needs,
and
priorities.
things pop up all the time, so.
What do you try keeping that at, 4 or 5 million a year?
A little bit. It all depends on where our balance is for our FM account and our
Okay.
STBG account and what the government does as far as the funding limits that we get. So
Okay.
depends what our, how the road use tax comes in. There's lots of different I guess, moving parts to that as well. I look at what our balances are in each one of those accounts and what we can handle and what we can't, basically, is what it boils down to.
We drove that Arcadia Road and that thing, it amazes me, it holds up through the winter.
It's, you know what, it's 10 times better than 175.
Oh, yeah.
The state road 175. Wow.
It's definitely, the M68 is definitely cracking and it's drying out on top. But it's hasn't had a whole lot of like real horrible rutting or like chunks breaking out. I mean, on the edges are spots, but overall it's held in there pretty well. I think that's been maybe 26, 27 years maybe since that one's been done, somewhere in there. So
175 is almost like a gravel road now,
Where's that at?
from Auburn to Lakeview.
Oh, yes, it's terrible.
they've done a lot of different things to that, but nothing's really made it better. It's rough.
Any more questions on the 5-year program?
Nice.
I'll move on to the budget for the DOT. This is very similar to what you've seen when we did the local budget. The only thing that changed a little bit is the construction dollars. We have a better forecast of what we're doing and what we're not doing now compared to what we were before. We had the project south of 141 and as a construction project in the local budget. And here I have it as maintenance because we're being able to do it as a maintenance project. So we're working on, that's one change. And we also know that the asphalt work, the other local asphalt work that we're having done this year, be this project south of Manning, that is getting it done in fiscal year 25, a current year. So when we did the local budget, we weren't sure we were planning for that. When filling this out, I knew that it's going to get done this fiscal year, so that's not as part of those construction dollars either. So otherwise, as far as all of the receipts coming in and the expenditures and the other categories for admin and engineering, roadway maintenance, general roadway, those are all identical to what we talked about when we went through the local budget. I'd be happy to go through those if you'd like to, but they're identical. That part of it is. Any questions on the budget?
We're looking for approval for the Iowa DOT 5-year plan.
So does that include the budget too?
You can go together if you like.
I'll second.
To approve the budget and the plan. We have a motion, a second. Any questions, discussions? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed? Motion carries. C, construction update.
Construction, the crack filling project that we had going out throughout the county, various roads has been done. They got done Friday, so that is done for the year. That's gonna be using both fiscal year 25 and 26 dollars. So we'll pay for some of that this year and some of it after July. As far as the asphalt projects going, they have everything milled. They started laying the base for the Litterdale section on Thursday, I believe. And got a good Friday, got a good start on that. They'll be up there today and possibly part of Tuesday as well. And then they'll move down to south of Manning and work on that stretch.
So 140th is last.
Well, that's just the base. That's
Oh.
just the base doing the widening. So they're putting that 4 foot wide section, 5 inches deep off the edge of the road on those two that we're gonna have paved shoulder. Then they'll start working on the intermediate and surface lifts on all 4 segments. I believe they're gonna start in Manning on that, but I don't know for sure. That will change a little bit depending on their schedule, so. But
Where did they set up camp?
the asphalt plants north, I guess, northwest of Lanesboro, almost to the county line in the old Mackey pit is what they call it.
Okay.
That's where the asphalt plant is. They sat in there
So
before.
they're hauling a long ways to go to Manning then.
It is. There's not a lot of great places for a plant for the amount, the size you need to be able to stockpile materials and get trucks in and out. It's takes a pretty good size area.
And they'll reuse all those grindings pretty well.
Almost, most of them they will. Yeah, I'm roughly 20% wrap goes in the in the mix. So the way we have it figured out with how much they milled off, it should be pretty close to using up most of them. Whatever's left is our property for us to use for our purposes.
So will you leave it up there at the Mackey pit?
No,
or-
we'll haul it back, but probably to the depot.
I see they finished grinding at the depot on
They
Friday,
did.
finally.
They did get that done about, middle of the week. They got done down there. So,
All that's left is a dumpster full of steel
yep, I don't think that
or
was
a
the-
roll off. I mean,
I
it's
don't think,
huge.
I don't think that was the only one. I think there was another one as well that they had there as well. So it's amazing what you pull out of there.
So I drove that road south of Dedham. It looks like they kind of even got down to a couple layers below or a layer below. As is mill that pulled it up.
That I think 1.25 inches is what we shoot for, what we're milling to, and a lot of times the lift is 1.5 inches. So sometimes that 1/4 inch will peel up, which is a good thing. If it's not going to be stuck down, we'd rather have it loose anyway. So,
Mhm.
but that's what we were shooting for the amount of millings that we wanted to have for wrap. But really all 4 sections of road look pretty good after milling them off. I mean, they're rough, but they're sound. So was a good feeling.
Anything about the salvage yard?
We are working on trying to get rid of some old equipment, some old trucks and working on trying to get that on auction. So we're working on that. Hopefully this week we'll meet with the company and keep the ball rolling there as well. So
It's almost like a museum.
How many items you got, you think?
there's 7 or 8 big items and then some other miscellaneous smaller stuff, things that, old air compressor, old, tires and rims and different things like that.
You know, I kind of watched that purple wave and it's amazing what they get for some of that stuff.
There's a lot of counties using them. And it's a good way to reach out to a lot of people. I think that's probably the biggest benefit from it. So we'll give it a try and see how it goes.
Yeah.
Really no update on the box culverts that we have coming yet. The contracts have been let. We know who the contractor is. We talked about that a little bit, but as far as schedule, I have not heard anything from them on that standpoint yet, so.
I do have one question before I was approached by an individual about going through the process of naming some bridges in the county for veterans, deceased veterans. Are you open to that?
Yeah, I'd be open to talking about that.
I kind of suggested you, so.
It's probably more about the process of which ones and how and what the process is to, allocate that, I guess, if you want to call it that way.
You gotta try to think of the old talk.
Any more questions for Zach?
Thanks, Zach.
Thank you so much. Item number 4, approved payables of $1,180,339.06. I will note $732,984 is principal and interest for the jail and ISIG. So if everybody was shocked when they saw the $1 million.
I was.
It was a little high, but it is what it is. How can do,
Courtney, I think you said we pay interest twice a year, but principal once a year on those.
can you repeat the number again for me?
The time for this pay period, the principal and interest was $732,984.75. And the last I remember, Courtney, you telling me yearly, the jail was $717 and ISIX was like $364.
Interest and principal for this pay period is $917,550.
That's combined.
So the, it's 5.
The jail bond interest alone is $184,750.
Mhm.
Yeah, and we pay that twice a year. So we pay
Woof.
that.
Woof.
But you can look at the ISIX and it's a lot. And that's a term loan too.
And those are refinance numbers. Had we have not refinanced, those interests would be a lot higher.
So I guess, you know, I mean, a positive to that too is bringing in inmates from out of county does help pay a little bit of it. But it's still, I mean, it still costs money to have a jail. It's
It
not,
does.
it's not a revenue making.
But just think if we did that later. We're
Yeah.
lucky we did it when we did.
Absolutely.
That wasn't just all
Hopefully we
by
can
plan.
continue to
It
bring
was-
in
it was
inmates
pure
from out
luck
of county.
Some of that stuff.
Yes.
Interest is $3,895 a week. Just interest. Just saying.
And it would have been more had we have not refinanced.
A
Thanks
lot
to
more.
Nathan Summers.
Mhm.
So I'm looking for a motion to approve the payables of
So moved.
$1,008,000. There a second?
I'll second it.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Interfund transfers, item number 5, of $1,401,720.
According to budget, it looked like you didn't need that. Oh, well, you do need that.
I think that might be toward the roads department.
I know. I will make a motion that we approve you want these separate? Courtney, probably.
Services to fund the secondary.
I'll make a motion to approve that one.
I'll second that.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carries.
Yeah, resolution.
Yes.
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 Yes,
Yes.
And this was for what, next year's budget and you're transferred back to this year's, is that what that is?
No, that's for this current fiscal year, just moving money from the rural fund.
Removing it,
Secondary roads for us to be able to use it, spend those dollars.
okay,
It comes out of general basic.
okay, I'm just kind of curious where the money,
Yeah, we do it twice a year, like usually a month or two after we collect taxes, we transfer their share to.
okay, thank you.
Item number 6, recorders.
well, we got another one
You
yet.
got another one, yes,
Oh, I'm sorry.
Now we got general basic. I will make a motion and improve that general basic to transfer $142,500. Secondary
Put
road.
it on that same attachment, but lower.
I'll second.
Oh,
it.
yeah.
We have a motion and a second. Any more discussion? Roll call, Courtney?
Yes.
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 Yes,
Yes,
I missed that.
you didn't switch us up today.
Item number 6 was the recorder's quarterly report. And I think she is not able to attend because she's training somebody new, but I think we all have a copy of it. Any observations or anything worth noting from any of the board members?
Not really. I mean, I noticed the intake's a little bit more. Revenue stamps is a little bit more, so that means the market's moving a little bit. I'm assuming the hunting and fishing license, you know, since you can purchase those online, that's probably why that's down. Is the revenue stamp up because of no, but it is up.
Looks like everything's up, kind of.
Well, and I'm gonna
Overall.
assume the RVV RS registration fees is up because you can register your UTVs, ATVs now on roads. I have no questions. I think it's pretty standard. Wasn't a substantial change from prior year or prior quarter. I'll make a motion to approve their recorder's quarterly report.
Second that.
We have a motion and a second to approve the quarterly report from the recorder. All in favor?
Aye.
aye,
Opposed? Motion carries. Item 7, approve Class C retail alcohol license for Carroll, Iowa Golf LLC.
I'll make a motion to approve the
I'll second.
alcohol license.
We have a motion and second. Any discussion? All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Item number 8, manure management. Dennis Hightoff, number 1 South, Section 7, Pleasant Valley. Change crop rotation or optimum yields, use manure analysis. Dennis Hightoff, number 2 North, Section 7, Pleasant Valley Township. Change crop rotation or optimum yields, use manure analysis. 746 Woodford Creek Farm, Section 13, Union Township. Change crop rotation or optimum yields. Item 9, committee reports.
I can go first. Last week I didn't have any official meetings, but I did receive some phone calls and then Scott and I talked at length on Saturday as well. Today I am supposed to have a Wesco meeting at noon. And I think I'll be zooming in for that. And I think I've expressed my concerns to the board going forward and hopefully we can figure something out with their meetings. Other than that, I had nothing after that.
I can go. I had nothing last week, but Monday, April 14th, we had a conservation meeting. And a couple things discussing that as a soccer trail permit fee is gonna go up to $20 next year, not this year. Stay at $2 daily and a $50 group charge. The Riverside Trail in Coon Rapids are moving forward with that. And if anybody is volunteering or helping on the trail, you have to fill out a volunteer agreement paperwork now. So they know who's out there and the liabilities they have. That's it.
That for people who sweep the rocks off the intersection.
Any of that stuff, yep. Cut trees and they've been having
Move the branches.
a little trouble in Sac County and they're just gonna make it standard between the two counties. So
It's a good idea.
And part for liability purposes too.
what's that?
Part
Yeah,
for
it's mostly
Exactly.
liability and.
Well, some of them do drive their personal vehicles out there so they can carry their leaf blowers and stuff. So if you see a vehicle, yeah. I can go. Last Monday, Gene and I met with Rusty Tigas about Maple River water and cleaning the filters in the septic tanks on the people's properties. Gene might go into more detail. I had the radio and newspaper. Tuesday, I did receive a call about a hazard on the railroad tracks on Olympic. So I went out and took pictures, sent them to Zach. Did the railroad take care of that?
I believe they were going to,
I didn't go back out and double check, but I mean, it was sticking up quite a ways. It was in the traveled portion.
They actually knew about it when I called.
Oh, did they? Okay. Also Tuesday, I did ask Maggie, Polly and Mark to co-chair the opioid funds, like the model, like Dallas County. At 10 o'clock, Gene and I met with a potential developer about future project in an unincorporated area of Carroll County, and I think I phoned everybody on that one. Noon was CCGP meeting. Tuesday also reached out to the new county attorney just to check in on his workload, see if he needed anything, and he's a busy boy. Wednesday, I spoke to the sheriff. We all received emails about the medical bills. I'm thinking I talked to him about that. And I did receive a call from Leon Warnmont about the zoning north of Carroll that we passed today. Thursday, roads claims. I did fill out the ISAC questionnaire that we all got about the 99 county visit. And I spoke with all of you about an upcoming possible closed session. Friday, I field trip with Gene to the Juvenile Detention Center and toured and attended their board meeting. And that is a very active board. And that was that was an eye opener. And then Gene and I also talked with the ISAC legislative team about possibly presenting at the May City County Roundtable. Saturday, I went to the legislative forum in Coon Rapids. I did forward a Manning Recovery Center request on opioid money to Maggie and Mark. Saturday, Stephanie and I got a email from Jamie that said a routine inspection was performed by the state for their recertification. They do it every 3 years. He was very impressed and made the comment that he wished everyone was as well put together as Carroll County Ambulance Service. This week, tonight, Carroll City Council meeting. Tuesday, I will not be able to attend any of the Stop the Bleed classes, but encourage as many people as possible to attend one of those. I think there's 3 of them. And Friday, there's a chamber coffee across the street at the new apartment complex. Any questions?
I can go next. Some of this is going to repeat. Monday, Again, Scott and I met with Tiggis in regard to the cleaning the filters out. Our previous person that did it is no longer willing to do it. So we're trying to get him to do it. And then Tuesday, as he said, we had a special meeting at CCGP. And then we had a regular CCGP meeting at noon. Basically went through a lot of the discussions about revisiting their strategic planning and relooking at that. Then Tuesday night, I had policy council. Was quite short meeting. Everything's going good there. The one thing that's changed, it looks like Panora is going from a half day to a full day next year. And Sac County will no longer have a second half day in their classroom. Then Friday was at the Cherokee for the Yes Center board meeting, the Juvenile Detention Center. They were full time. Scott did get a tour of the place. They averaged 7.84 kids for the month, and they had some changing of some staff around there. Then also on Saturday, I went to the legislative forum down in Coon Rapids and was there. Also, Friday when we were driving back, Scott said we talked to Jamie about Jamie Cashman about trying to do some of the programming for the county roundtable.
For request of Chris
Yeah.
Baker.
Per request, because someone else is kind of dropping the ball, I guess, or can't get somebody. Also on Saturday early before, I did watch the ISAC webinar in regard to legislative update. And I had several conversations with Zach on some other issues in the county. This week, I have nothing. I will not be able to attend the Stop the Bleed because I'll be out of town, so.
Same. It's Tuesday.
There's 3 different times, but yeah.
I'm out of town.
Me too, yeah.
I guess, last week, Tuesday, I took a tour with Jason Christensen of the conservation. We went all the tours. I was amazed at how many places we have in Carroll County, and they're all very well kept up. They do a nice job there. And then Friday, I attended the chamber conference or chamber coffee at St. Anthony's Mental Health. That was a pretty interesting talk also. This week, I'll do the Stop the Bleed training tomorrow at the courthouse here, and then I've got radio newspaper for Gene. I'm covering for Gene today, so it's a hard one, so he wanted to dump it
Big
off on me.
shoes to fill, yeah,
Yeah,
especially with the 5-year plan.
that's all I have, I guess.
To abbreviate it.
I can
Any
just say my
comments
name
from,
minors that I can really screw it up or something, you know.
any comments from those in attendance? Courtney, next week. Okay. Look for
Motion to adjourn.
I'll second.
motion, second, all in favor, aye, opposed, motion carries, we are adjourned.